It's Full Out with Brittany Ross.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Full Out, my flying solo episode. Look at that. I'm introing it in a super normal way. Not awkward at all. I thought that was pretty normal. I guess not. I wanted to talk about, so I feel like I do have some fans that came from like Disney shows and stuff that I used to do back in the day, but I am also an actress. I know, gross. I don't like actresses either. Sorry to all the actresses I know. But I feel like if you don't get that joke, that's probably why I don't like you. No, maybe cut this out. I don't know what I'm even talking about now. Am I just alienating all actresses? There's a vibe. I feel like, okay, so I used to play a lot younger than I actually am. And, before I had children who sucked the life and collagen out of me, I looked like a teenager. And now, like, if you see me from behind, you might think I'm a teenager or a 12-year-old boy. And then I turn around and you're like, wait, oh my God, how old is that lady? But don't look at me up close. No, I'm kidding. I did play, I sound super young, obviously. Surprise, surprise. And I'm petite. I'm a small person. So I moved to LA and I got here and I was 21. I graduated college early because I was like, I have to get to LA before I'm too old to act anymore. And I got here and all of a sudden I was playing like 13-year-olds for a long time, and then 14-year-olds. And it was weird because I was working a lot and I was like, this is great. But everybody I was working with was like 14. So it was a little lonely or like weird because I was like, I don't really know how to, like, I'm not like hanging out the same way I would if it was like people of my own age, because that would just be so creepy and weird. I remember I went to an audition once to play a 16-year-old cheerleader on a Disney show. And my first thought was like, oh, I'm growing up. I was like 27 when this happened. And I went and I was sitting in the waiting room and I had gotten in this vibe of like teenagers have a very specific way they sit. They have like a way where they act like, oh, I don't give a fuck. And like, I feel like when I was playing a teenager, I had to start acting from the second I arrived to the audition, not in the room, because I was like, I need to keep up this facade that I am a young teenage person. And so I'm like hanging out in there. And this kid who was like a real 16-year-old kid, he looked at me and I was like, why is he staring at me? Why is he staring at me? And then he just did this head nod thing, that cool kids do. And he was like, so you drive? And I was like, yeah, I drive. And then he's like, yeah, me too. He's like, isn't it so nice not to have your mom driving you to auditions? And I just remember thinking like, I wish my mom would drive me to auditions. You guys don't know how lucky you are. I see all of you coming in while your moms park the car and look for parking. They just drop you off at the door. I have to actually look for parking. I have to pay for my own parking. And I was just like, you have somebody here being like, are you ready? Are you feeling good? Like, moral support. I'm just like here on my own. And so then I also was like, wait, if I was 16, could I get this guy? Because he's like a cool actor kid. And like when I was 16, I was dating a drug dealer. And I also dated like the head of my youth group. And they were the same person, I'm pretty sure. But like I was I was teaching gymnastics to babies. I wasn't like on TV acting and, so it's like, okay, it was just like a weird time. And then, yeah, it was, I don't even know what I'm saying. I was playing this is what I wanted to say. Got it. So I was playing really young. I did this one show, Sweet Life on Deck. Zach and Cody are Cole and Dylan Sprouse. And I remember I was playing one of their girlfriends, maybe Cole Sprouse. maybe I don't even know which one is which. That's how old I am, guys. I know that young people think they're really cool right now. I was playing one of their girlfriends, and in the script it said like I like was flirting with him or something, and I was probably like 25 or something. And I remember I like did, it said I like touched his shoulder or something. And so I did something where I was like, hey, I don't know what I did. And Disney was like, no, that's too much. Like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. This is like a baby child. I could be this person's mom. And I remember I would like one time I had lunch with them and they were all talking about taking their driver's test and stuff. And I was like, I should not be in this dressing room having lunch with these kids right now. So that happened. And then I ended up getting this job to play a cheerleader on this Disney show. And like I always did. And I got to set and they would always, the like, person I would check in with would always be like, oh, do you need to see the set teacher? Because all of the other kids were going to school on set. And I would always say like, no, I'm done with school. But I never said like I'm done with high school and college and have been for 5 years at this point. I just was like, I'm done with school. And so then I would like hang out by myself all day. I did this one show with Bella Thorne and Zendaya. And one, they're like so much taller than me. It was called Shake It Up and we had to dance. And so I think I was 26 and I was supposed to be playing 14, I think. And so at the time I had heard word on the street, Bella Thorne was like, so the thing with the Disney shows is like these kids become like tiny tyrants because they get all this power and they're leads of these shows at very young ages. And I think it, spirals out of control in some cases. And I had heard that Bella Thorne was difficult. There was a rumor that she had gotten a little boy fired from an episode because she didn't like the color of his hair. And that there was just like, I knew that she had the power to get people fired. So we go to the table read where, you read the script with everyone and everybody says, hi, like, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And Bella Thorne is like staring me down. And then she walks up to me after the table read and I'm like, hi. And she's like, how old are you? And I had this thought of like, okay, I am like 25. I am proud of my age. I have like done a lot. I have seen a lot, and I was like, I am 19. I told her I was 19. And I was like, oh my God, I just told her I was 19. And so she thought I was 19 and we would be rehearsing and I would look over and Bella Thorne would just be like staring me up and down. And I was like, what is going on? So my mom had just recently moved to Orange County from Texas. And I called her and I was like, Mom, I need you to come to set with me the rest of the week because I need you to help me keep up my teenage facade because all of these other kids have their mom there with them. And like, it's really going to help my image to look like I still have my mom coming with me to work. And my mom, I feel like all my mom wants to do is come to work with me. So she's like, I'll be there. And like, she's like, great. And so my mom came to set with me all week. I'm learning a dance with two teenagers who like know how to dance. And like, I'm like a cheerleader dancer, but I'm not like a dancer. Also, I'm like 25 or 26. And like, I have a video of it. I wish I could find it. Maybe I'll be able to find it, but they are so much taller than me, these two girls. And I am like this tiny little like white girl dancer. And they filmed the rehearsal for us so I could go home and practice the dance. But it was like humiliating. And then I look over and see my mom like talking to all the other moms in like the chairs with the moms. And she came up to me like in the middle of a rehearsal, my mom, and was like, okay, Brittany, okay, so some of the other moms were talking about college and asked me if you were gonna go to college. And she was like, I didn't want to lie and say that like you're not going to go to college because I didn't want them to think that you were stupid. And I was like, Mom, I was like, so many stupid people go to college. So like it's not even an issue. And then she was like, so I just told them that you do online college. And I was like, okay. And she's like, and the lead of the show Bella Thorne, who my mom doesn't know who anybody is either. She's like, her mom is really interested in online college and she's going to have her daughter talk to you about it later. And I was like, oh my God. So now by inviting my mom to set, like my lie had spiraled out of control. And I think she did ask me about it at some point because her mom made her or something. But I had to like act like a teenager. So it probably was just like, oh, moms are so lame. Like, don't do it or something. And, she probably owes her career to me. She probably didn't go to college. Anyways, I stopped playing. I remember like the first time I stopped playing a teenager, it was probably soon after that I went in for that show Modern Family. And I knew that guy. I'd gone in a few times and he was like, in the middle of the audition, he was like, Brittany, you're not 16 anymore. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we can't, you're not. And I was like, you're right. And I left and I felt like it was the first time I like realized I was aging, but I was like, I'm not 16. I'm like 27, 28. Like, it's fine that I don't look 16, but it like hit me in a way that I felt like, wait, I don't look 16 anymore. Like it was a weird, this town is weird. You guys, this town is weird. This town is weird. Stay away. No, there's some good things and some actors and actresses are really nice and fun and cool people. And yeah, now I feel like I have a 5-year-old daughter and people keep asking me to like put her in things. And I definitely don't want her to be in things. One, because like she'd probably have a better career than me and I'd be on a 5150 hold in a mental institution. And two, like I worked with kid actors for so much of my like beginning of my professional career. I was like around them. I was pretending to be one. And I'm sure it's great for some people. And I'm sure some people like are so happy that happened. I just like really want her to be a normal kid for as long as possible, which I know is going to be hard in this town. Like, but yeah, I just can't imagine being like, you have to do another take right now. You're 5 years old, but you're committed to this project and they need you to do this and you have to do this even if you don't want to do, I just don't want to be that mom. Don't want to be that mom. So yeah, that is my, now I play closer to my age. And that's great because I'm not I'm not pretending to be a child. And then also I feel like I started working on this show called The Middle and everybody was my age playing high school. And that was fun because we all were like older and we're like, oh, we get to pretend like we're going to prom again and all this stuff. So just being able to like hang out with people and talk and like relate to people and not feel like you're like the creepy old person on set when you're 27. We asked some people to DM us some voice memos of their full out stories because it's fun to hear people telling your full out story in your own words. So here we go. I'm going to play a couple of them and I'm really excited about them. Let's see. Okay. You can DM us a voice memo. You can email us a voice memo if you know how to do that. You can just DM us a voice memo at fulloutpod would be awesome. Or write it out. But here we go.
I was like, I think I have to get into Bravo and like Bravo TV shows and Bravo culture. And so I think I like started out by trying to watch a little bit of Real Housewives of New York. And I was obviously entranced because these are phenomenal people. So I started it from the first episode of the first season, and there's like, 16, 17 seasons. And I watched every episode all the way up. And then I was like, well, I can't just watch one. Then I did that with New Jersey and Potomac and Beverly Hills. And this is like a lot of commitment. I mean, this is many hours. And I didn't just stop at Housewives. Then I had to go to Southern Charm. Then I had to go to Vanderpump. Then I had to go to Summer House. So I really went full out as a Bravo girl. and I committed hard, and I like follow all the pop culture-y things. And I feel like I went so full out that, when a big thing happens in the Bravo universe, I know about it and I genuinely care. So that's the time that I went full out.
Okay, that's one of my very good friends, Talia Shabin. She is a very funny actress, an actress that I like. She also is a very funny improviser. And if you have any Bravo questions, you follow her. You know who to ask. I fell into, when I was pregnant this last time, I get really sick when I'm pregnant. So fun. And I'm not a like Real Housewives person, but I love a scandal, and that Vanderpump scandal, Sandoval, happened, and I decided, I'm a little psycho, so I decided to watch the season that had the scandal and then go backwards so I could I watched Vanderpump Rules backwards. Like, I watched one season and then I watched the season before and then the season before. I don't know why I did that, but it felt good to me to see the scandal. I needed to know what was happening and then kind of get my own, do some digging into the past so I could make my own assumptions about these people. I also occasionally will start a show and then I'll just skip to the last episode. I've been known to do that. I also watch things on double speed. On Netflix, you can watch things on time and a half. I don't know what that means about me, but I definitely don't think that's how it was intended to be watched. And I also watched, what's that show with the blue people, the blue alien people? That's the big movie. Yeah, I watched Avatar. I went to see Avatar 2 and I had not seen the first one. So I decided to watch it on a jog. And my husband was like, I was like, I just need to get caught up. And everybody's like, that is definitely not the way it was intended to be watched, on your phone while you're jogging. So I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. All right. We have another one from my friend Nadia. Let's see what she said.
My husband and I were in London a couple of years ago, and I have an accent compulsion where I just speak in accents places. And I do it when I'm alone because nobody knows. It feels like I'm getting away with something. But on this trip with my husband, I spoke in an English accent. By the end of our trip, I was just doing it nonstop. We'd go to order coffee and I'd be like, hey, could we get 2 flat whites? And he would stand silently next to me because he cannot do an English accent. He'd be like, oh, yes, a flat white for me too, sire. And yeah, so I just basically, I'd go to the desk at our hotel and I'd be like, hey there, what's going on today? Are there any events in the bar? Okay, that's really nice. And my husband just silently approved, I guess. So I guess that was me going full out, as I always do, with an accent in London. And then the funniest part is I made a TikTok where I was like, I'm in London right now and I'm speaking, I can't stop speaking like this. I'm basically English. This isn't how I speak, you guys. And it blew up. It got the most views of any TikTok I've ever gotten. So be a goof, speak in an English accent, and keep on going full out, babes.
I love it.
Ta-ta.
She does have a very funny TikTok about that. Nadia Quinn. My daughter picked up an English accent when we were in London as well, because kids are sponges. And she was like, Mommy, I need to wee, and saying all this stuff like that. But I was happy because before we went to London, she had a girl in her class who was Persian, and she had started doing a Persian accent everywhere. And I was like, and she was really good at it. And she's 5, so I was like, yeah, do the English one. Stick to the English one. You're better at the English one. Just do that one. Also, my husband speaks French is his first language. He speaks English perfectly. He doesn't have an accent. You've probably heard him on here. You'd never know that he is English is not his first language. But I remember we'd been dating for a couple years, and his friends from Switzerland came to visit us in LA. And a lot of his friends speak English, great English, but still have a French accent. And all of a sudden, my husband started speaking English with a French accent. And he's like, oh, yes, do you guys want to we could go to the Hollywood sign, or we could do something like this or that. And I was like, wait, what? Who are you? I've never heard you do this in my entire life. But he does that. He does it when he's around his family and stuff. I think it's to make, some people do that to make other people feel like more comfortable or something. They just they unknowingly mimic what they're doing. All right, you guys, those are all our full out stories for the week. Make sure you send us your full out stories, because we definitely want to hear them, to send them to thoughts@fulloutpod.com. You can find us on Instagram @fulloutpod. You can DM us. But yeah, keep going full out. Bye. 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 Bye.